Yeah.
So your show, The Void, how did you come up with the name?
We kind of toyed around with a bunch of different things, but as myself had gone through the transition from like employee to self-employed, there's this big giant gap that nobody tells you about. And so we were like, it's like you're crossing the void, right? You've got to get from one side to the other side, and nobody tells you how to do it. And so we decided to call the show The Void to kind of represent, like, we're filling that gap with all the information that we talk about in the show.
Okay. Beyond the name for the show, where did the inspiration, the idea for the show come from? I know what you just said about that space in between, but why start a show? Why not just do like a lot of people do and start a business and just get to work?
Yeah. So I got into self-employment or starting our company probably a little bit later than a lot of people do. I think I was 38 when we started our company. And I had been a product of working for other people and listening to the owners of those trades-based companies kind of lie to their employees a little bit and talk about like, oh, you never want to do this. Like, this is horrible. You don't want the stress. It's, they act like they're broke and all of this stuff, but their lifestyle kind of shows otherwise. And obviously it can't be that bad because they're still doing it, 15 or 20 years later. But you have a hard time making that connection when you're an employee and you have the security of that paycheck. And so it took me a lot of courage to muster up to make that switch, especially because I was so far in my career later on. I was managing multi-million-dollar plumbing departments and all of this stuff, so it was a lot to walk away from. It wasn't like a guy making $20 or $25 an hour starting his own company. I mean, I was making really good money. So once we got our company off the ground and running, and it took off pretty well, I thought, like, okay, this is information other people need. People need to know that as long as you plan accordingly, you can get started in your own company with relative ease. And nobody tells you this stuff. Like, there's plenty of coaches and consultants that will take your existing company and help you grow it to the next level, but there's not a resource out there to help you go from employee to self-employed, especially in the trades world. Most people go from employee to self-employed because they get mad at their boss one day and they cuss them out and throw all their tools in their truck and peel out of the parking lot. And, so our whole show is kind of built on the foundation of, like, put a little bit of planning and a little bit of process and a little bit of preparation together, and you can do it and do really, really well with it.